Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today I would like to do something a little bit different. Today I would like to get to know you guys. Well, actually what I'm trying to say is that I would like you guys to get to know me, and then you can comment below and leave questions or you know, all that jazz. So I would like to talk a bit about myself. And when I say about myself, I don't want to be talking about like what I've accomplished or whatever that means. I don't want to do that. I just want to tell you guys where I come from so that you have an idea of who I am. So yeah, let's get into it. So I was born in 1988 in Slovakia in a small town called Trenčín. So whoever is watching from Slovakia, ahoy! And we, my family and I, we immigrated to Montreal, Quebec, Canada in about, I believe it was 1994. So I was 6 years old. That transition was very difficult for me because, you know, I was a kid and I obviously had all my friends back in Slovakia. So being one day in your home country and then waking up the next day and being on the other side of the world, you know, on a different continent with people that you don't know and with people who speak a weird language that you don't understand. So it was very difficult for me. I was in grade 2. I did not speak a word of French. I did not speak a word of English. So my parents, they had to tutor me every day after school. It was a battle. So yeah, that was really hard for me. And then, I mean, obviously, you know, as years passed by, I found friends and I started learning the language and I started speaking French and English. So things got easier. And yeah, I found friends. So my life started, you know, basically, and I was happy again and it was great. But when I turned 13, that's when we got the Canadian citizenship, and my parents, they never really wanted to stay in Canada because my entire family is in Slovakia. So when we got the Canadian citizenship, my parents thought, you know what, it's time to pack our bags and it's time to go home. I was not very happy about that, obviously, because I was 13. I was a teenager, I was a brat, you know, I had all my best friends. I just started going to a new school and everything in my life was just perfect at that moment. And now, you know, I was suddenly told, well, you are gonna have to pack your bag and we're just getting the hell out of here. So that was very difficult for me to process. Much more difficult than when I was 6 and had to move from Slovakia to Canada because, like I said, I was 13. I was a teenager. My friends, they meant the world to me. But obviously I had no choice, right? Because I was 13 and my parents couldn't just leave me here in Montreal, so I had to go with them. Going back from Montreal to Slovakia was extremely difficult for me. It's not that I forgot the language, but I started forgetting words. So for example, when I was speaking to my dad, it was half French, half Slovak, because I couldn't remember certain words. So when I started school in Slovakia when I was 13, well, let me tell you, it was a hell of a ride. My Slovak wasn't very good. I had an accent. People were mocking me. In Slovakia, they're way ahead when it comes to physics and math and chemistry. So when I came back, I was so behind that I had to take extra lessons after school. Like I had extra math lessons, extra physics lessons, extra chemistry lessons. It was just, I had so much catching up to do. It was just crazy. And obviously making new friends when you were 13, that was very difficult because I came to a class and, you know, they had known each other for for ages, and I was just the new girl, and I was known as the new girl. And I was just very different, you know. I was wearing nail polish, and I was wearing jeans and the jean jacket, and I thought I was super cool, and no one in my class had nail polish, and every girl was staring at me, and she was like, oh my God, you have nail polish. It was so funny, but you know, because I actually went to a Catholic school, so for them to see nail polish on a 13-year-old girl, and you know, and seeing a girl wearing denim, it was just like out of this world for them, it's hilarious. But yeah, so those few months were very difficult. I was crying every single day. You know, I was telling my parents, I'm like, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't know anyone. Like, I don't feel like this is my home anymore. Like, Montreal is my home. I want to go back. So it was very hard. But then again, you know, when you're 13, you're still a kid. So it only took, you know, a few months, and I made my best friends. I made so many friends, and I've made best friends. And these best friends that I'm talking about, they're actually my best friends to this day, and they're coming to my wedding. So at the end, you know, it ended up all working out for the best. So that was great. But that's not it. My migration story is not over. When I turned 18, I actually decided to come back to Montreal to pursue my studies here and just, I guess, life. So I left when I was 18. I left Slovakia, and I came here. I was here with my sister. We lived together. I went to school. I did my bachelor degree here. I did my master's degree here, and now I'm here. And basically for the past few years, I would just like travel back and forth all the time. So I would do one semester, and then after one semester, I would go back home to Slovakia, spend Christmas or summer, you know, and then I would just like travel back and forth. Very, very difficult emotionally. Sorry. It was just very difficult because all my friends were like in Slovakia, and I had a long distance relationship, you know, and it was just very difficult. And I don't want to be crying and be like, oh, poor me, because I know that people have it way worse, and my life is actually like, I have a privileged life, and I know that. But I was just very, very sad and upset, because for me, like leaving my parents, leaving my family, it was just very hard. You know I keep saying very hard, but it truly was very hard. And you know, and fast forward to today, I'm 28, I'll be 29 in March, and I live here. I live in Montreal, Canada. I am very happy, you know. I live with my fiance. I love him so much. I have my sister. She lives like 5 minutes from my house, so which is great. My nephew. But my parents are not here, you know, and my friends are not here. Not that I don't have friends in Montreal, but it's not the same, you know. Like my friends from Slovakia, my girls, you know, I spent like the crucial teenage years with them, right? So we've gone through so much, and it's just something that is irreplaceable. So yeah, so this is, in a nutshell, that's my migration story. You know, ever since I was a kid, I've been just flying back and forth. I've moved around a lot. So has that made me a tough person? Maybe. People say that it has. I'm not sure. I hope they're right. And maybe you've gone through similar stories. I mean, maybe you've gone through the same thing as I have. And if you have, then just comment it below. I want to hear your stories. I want to hear that, you know, you're not the only one. If you're asking what I'm gonna do now, whether I want to stay in Montreal or whether I want to go back to Slovakia, that's a really, really good question. In an ideal world, I would love to live in Slovakia, obviously. But like job-wise, I guess it's very difficult, especially the little town where I come from. You know, I've studied journalism and like I'm into social media and marketing and things like that. So going back to my city, like from a financial perspective, would not be a good move. So I don't know. Right now, you know, I try to live in the present. I try to plan only like a few weeks ahead. I don't like to plan years ahead. So right now I am here. I am in Montreal, and we'll see what happens next. So yeah, that was my story. That was my story. Every time I talk about this, it leaves me speechless because I just think about my family and everyone, and it just like breaks my heart that I'm not with them. But yeah, I just wanted to be truthful, and I wanted you guys to get to know me, get to know the real me. So that's about it. If you like this video, I don't know if you can like this video because it's kind of bittersweet, but I hope you did. And if you did, then give it a thumbs up and please subscribe. And if you have any questions, or like I said, you've gone through similar things, then please comment it below so that we can start a dialogue. I would be very happy to do that. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, friends.